I smell vomit on the sidewalks and streets here. That's a big, big rat. Oh. Yep. With garbage comes big rodents. I think I'm afraid of catching a disease from these rats more than getting robbed. Wow, just cups and litter all over the place. There's a needle there, broken glass. This is what happens after a night of partying on Bourbon Street. I'm not too worried about crime right now. I don't think there'll be much activity on Bourbon Street at this time of day, but let's see what happens. I know a lot of people are curious to see what happens on Bourbon Street this early in the morning. At nighttime, this place completely comes alive. There's jazz playing, there's people on the streets, all and about, eating around. So you see people getting ready for work here. Actually, this crystal might be open 24 hours. But there is a noticeable presence of litter around the sidewalks. Many famous restaurants are here. So Bourbon Street actually extends 13 blocks from Canal Street to Esplanade Avenue. I'll be walking there today. It's famous for its many bars and strip clubs. Actually, you can see one here. It's not open yet. It's so early in the morning. There's Bourbon House Seafood Restaurant. Maybe we'll get to see some people wasted on the streets today. Bourbon Street is pretty much a big tourist attraction. There were 17.74 million visitors in 2017 alone. Here's the famous Galatories. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's the famous restaurant in the area since 1905. Let me see if I could get a view of the outside from across the street. And there's also Galatore's 33 Bar and Steak. Big Easy Daiquiris, the name I was referencing before. We got Trader's Emporium outlet over here. That across the street looks to be a strip club. Another place, the Hunk Oasis male strippers. I'm not too worried about crime right now. Although I do want to keep my wits about me. It's always good to be aware of your surroundings at all times. Like here, there's two people to my right. There's Arnaud's Restaurant, a jazz bistro. There's also balconies here. Famously, during Mardi Gras, there's people throwing beads from the upper levels to spectators on the lower. And I've had heard that the people throwing the beads, that sometimes that there'll be people coming out with those beads and asking people to flash them. So they'll throw the bees and then post the picture on social media. Here's Fox du Dukes, Royal Sonesta, New Orleans. That's a big, big rat. Oh. Yep. With the garbage comes big rodents. I think I'm afraid of catching a disease from these rats more than getting robbed. Hurricane City. I really hope that whoever's responsible for cleaning this place up for sanitation does it soon, because to leave the streets like this every night, not a good sign for sanitary reasons. Slush pizza by the slice. Mambo's, gumbo, seafood, steaks, oysters, and po' boys. Gumbo and po' boys are the de facto cuisine here, the cuisine that's unique to the area. Now here's a unique way to deal with the rodent problem, to have these bins here. Wow, just cups and litter all over the place. There's a needle there, broken glass. This is what happens after a night of partying on Bourbon Street. Kama Suture Cabaret. The Tropical Isle Hand Grenade. New Orleans' most powerful drink. I've read that a lot of these vendors, when they're out here in full force, they'll just coax people in by challenging them to see how long they'll last, and then they'll just stuff like 2 or 3 hand grenades down their mouth and say, oh, that was like $20 each one. So that's where they get you. Big Easy daiquiris, Chris Owens. Well, there's some music being played, but I think it's from the speakers of this establishment here. No bottles or glass on the street allowed here. Okay, there's people behind me, so just want to be aware of that. If you want bees, you can get a couple of them for free on the floor here. Actually smells like alcohol here. A lot of wine and beer. Four Points Sheraton Hotel, the French Opera House. Here we've got the Tropical Isle Original. Toulouse, one-way street. The whole street smells like alcohol, actually. It's pretty incredible. When I was here last night, I even smelled marijuana, people smoking it outside, out in the open. It's also legal to open drink here. You can have your drinks in a plastic cup. Crazy corner balcony. Does look like a crazy corner to me. Here's another house that looks historic. This is one of the containers for the hand grenade. Mason, Bourbon, preservation of jazz. Just ignore and walk away. And I'm looking behind to see if anyone's following me, which they aren't. Bourbon Heat Grill Club. I smell vomit on the sidewalks and streets here. Tropical Isle, Bourbon Street. When I have random people coming up to me making random threats like that, I get immediately very sketchy about the area. House of Voodoo. This is one of the haunted houses, I believe. New Orleans is also famous for haunted houses. This part of Bourbon Street is closed for reconstruction. A lot of the infrastructure needs to be redesigned here. This is an area where I'm very wary because you never know who's hiding behind one of those buildings to the left and jump me. No one's following me now. Nice sunrise up ahead though. I do wish that I walked on the other side of the street so you'll see like more businesses, because I see like a couple there. But I believe I will be passing into Upper Bourbon Street soon. I just came from Lower Bourbon Street. Upper Bourbon Street is known more for the gay community. So my recommendation for you, if you come to this area, don't come during sunrise on Bourbon Street because there'll be some shady characters around here. Here's Dumaine. Looks like this news cruise here actually, and awesome, they got some sanitation going. Although I don't know how that will work with the streets blocked off like that. Hey. So let the street sanitation go by. I'll wait here till they pass it. I don't want to breathe in all that stuff. Here's a nice little red house. Interesting architecture here on Bourbon Street. Another note about crime and safety. I did find an excellent YouTube channel. Their name is Active Self-Protection. They have a lot of great tips on dealing with dangerous situations with real world scenarios. This is La Reef's Blacksmith Shop, very famous store in the area. I think it's has its roots back in the 1800s. Oh, I just saw another rat at my feet. Now this is the quieter part of Bourbon Street. I do feel a lot more safe in this section compared to the lower section. There's less people around, and this is the way it should be at sunrise. But if I was to do that walk again down Bourbon Street, there's no way I'm doing it unless I had someone else with me. I was genuinely nervous back there. Jezebel's 1041 Bourbon. Looks like a adult shop. Very, very beautiful clouds. I just wish the sun was shining. Okay, there's a car behind me, but no people as far as I'm concerned walking behind me. It's very quiet here. Another thing too about Bourbon Street, there's a lot of jazz bands and music that plays. It has had a history of having a lot of noise complaints, and the city enacted some laws against them. But a lot of people say they're unjust because Bourbon Street defines the character of the neighborhood. And without its music and entertainment, it wouldn't be the tourist attraction that it is. So to take that away would be taking something away from the community. What I am going to do is once I get to Esplanade Avenue, I'm going to make a right and then head up Frenchman Street. That's not in the French Quarter, but I know it's a popular street for the locals, and it will be very interesting to see how people react and work at that time. I do hope that it's better maintained than Bourbon Street. Oh, spooked me there. I thought it was a haunted house or something, but it was someone trying to get their door open. Anyway, Frenchman Street is known for the locals to hang out and eat. That's where a lot of the live music plays, the real, like, professional jazz musicians. Then once I'm done with Frenchman Street, I'll see how I feel, and then maybe go down Decatur Street, back to Canal, or I may take a streetcar. You see, most people here don't go in this quiet neighborhood. Okay, so when the Spanish owned Bourbon Street from 1762 to 1803, it was Calle de Bourbon. Hope I'm saying that right. I'm just glad it didn't rain at this time because there were threats of rainstorms throughout this entire week. And from what people are telling me, that's kind of the norm during the summer. It will be have sunshine in the morning and then it will rain in the afternoon for 2 or 3 hours and it will stop for the day. That's how it works down here. But yesterday when I arrived, it was very comfortable. There was no rain at all. Take a look at this old street sign with the tiles. Here's Esplanade Avenue, which I assume is a quiet residential street. Quiet residential street and a main artery through the area.